Okay, if you are a golfer looking to add distance to your shots, overcome an injury, or minimize the chances of an injury happening as you progress through your rounds, this may be just the video for you. My name is Brad Logue. I'm a physical therapist and the owner of Top Tier Physical Therapy in Middletown, Delaware. And in this video, I want to go over 5 exercises that golfers can implement into their training program to hopefully improve their performance on the course, but at the very least, minimize the chances of them becoming hurt so they can continue to play as many rounds as they desire. So the golf swing actually varies widely between players, much like a squat may vary between different athletes in the gym. If you look at the Pro Tour players, there aren't really any swings that are absolutely identical to one another, but they're the best players in the world, and that's a swing that works for them. So we're not going to go much over mechanics in this video, rather exercises that would improve really any kind of golf swing you may have. There are a lot of different components to a golf swing where we have mobility of my hips, my thoracic spine, my low back, my wrists, my shoulders, and my neck. But the golf swing is a widely rotational or largely rotational movement. So most of the exercises we're going to go over in this video are going to focus more on improving rotational mobility and rotational strength. Now, with the golf swing, what's actually happening is we're generating a lot of force from the ground through our legs, transferring that force through our hips, through our trunk, into our arms, and then eventually out the club and into the ball. Regardless if we are a left-handed or a right-handed golfer, we are going to have to rotate both left and right. So if I'm a left-handed golfer, I'm rotating left in my backswing and right in my follow-through. If I'm a right-handed golfer, I'm rotating right in my backswing and left in my follow-through. A lot of this rotation is actually going to start in my hips. So this first exercise is going to be for improving your hip mobility. This exercise is going to be the seated hip switch, where we are sitting on the floor. We're going to have our knees bent up towards our chest. And the easiest way to start with this one is to actually be back on your hands. So you have this little bit of a backwards lean versus sitting up tall. We're going to get into this backwards lean, and I'm just going to drop the inside of one knee down to the floor and the outside of my other knee down to the floor. And then we're going to switch. So this is working on both internal and external rotation of my hips. Again, we are externally and internally rotating on both hips during the backswing and the follow through. The way I can make this more challenging is if I sit up further and increase that hip flexion angle and give myself a little bit more of a stretch in those hip joints. And the most advanced way to do this would be to be without any upper extremity support, or I'm rotating side to side on those hips. So starting back on my hands, working myself up, and then eventually going with no hands. So this is going to help improve internal and external rotation of our hips, where in the backswing, my rear leg is going to go through internal rotation, my lead leg is going to go through external rotation, and then my follow through, the opposite is happening. My lead leg is internally rotating and my back leg is externally rotating. All right, once we start to improve the rotation in our hips, the next in the golf swing is going to be rotating of my trunk, specifically my thoracic spine. So my hips are rotating through, and then my trunk follows before eventually the power or the force is transmitted into my arms and through the club. So this is going to be called the thread the needle stretch. You can use this with a foam roller, but you really don't need anything to perform this one. So how this will work, I'm going to start on my hands and knees with the foam roller to my side. I'm going to reach one hand between my arm and my leg, and I'm just rotating my shoulder down to the floor while pushing my fingertips on the threading hand to the wall next to me. A way you can increase the intensity of this stretch would be to push away with my supporting hand and dropping my reaching hand down to the floor. So here, my right hand, I'm going to reach my right shoulder down to the floor while pushing away with my left hand. Without the foam roller, the same thing is happening. I'm just sliding along the floor. Okay, and then obviously you're going to want to do this on both sides to improve the rotation for the backswing and the follow through. Continuing on with the thoracic rotation, we're going to move into more of an active rotation, and this is going to get us more into a golf stance or a little bit of a hinged position. So you can grab yourself a golf club, PVC pipe, broom, dowel, whatever you've got. We're going to put that right into our chest, and I'm going to cross my arms and hug this PVC pipe towards my chest. I'm then going to get into about like a 5-iron stance where my knees are bent. I'm pushing my butt back, almost like I'm approaching the ball, ready to take my shot. From here, I'm trying to rotate one end of the PVC down towards the floor while keeping my hips pointed forward. So it's not going to be this where my hips are following my shoulders. My hips are going to stay down to the floor. Almost imagine if you had laser pointers on your hips. Those laser pointers are going to stay pointed at the floor the whole time. They're not going to open up to the side walls. So hips stay down towards the floor, and I'm taking my one shoulder and dropping it down towards the floor, and then I'll switch and go to the other side. So this is kind of working on that active component of the thoracic rotation, where for a right-handed golfer, I'm getting into my backswing, and then I'm following through with my follow through. For the rotation, you want the club or the PVC pipe to be on a little bit of an angle. So the rotation should not be parallel to the ground. It should almost be on an angle to the ground. A similar angle to what your club would be doing through your swing. So your club doesn't swing horizontal, parallel to the ground or perpendicular to the ground. It's swinging on an angle. So we're kind of trying to mimic that angle with the club or the PVC, whatever we're holding. So you can almost imagine that you have a ball in front of you and you're trying to hit that ball with the butt end or the head of whatever club you are using. Okay, and of course we're going to go left and right with this to help with our backswing and our follow through for whatever handed golfer we are. All right, for those first three, you really don't need any pieces of equipment. It's really the only thing you'll need is a golf club, which if you're a golfer, you probably already have a golf club. But for these next two, you're going to need either a cable machine at a gym or at a country club, or at home if you have one of those. If you don't have a cable machine, you can do this with a resistance band, and I'll show you what both of those look like. So we're going to use the resistance from the cable or from the band to start increasing our rotational strength in different planes. So first one, we're going to do a half kneeling rotational lift. So whatever side is closest to my cable machine or my band, that leg is going to be down. So my right leg is closer to my cable. So my right leg is going to be down. My left leg is going to be up. From here, I'm keeping straight arms and I'm rotating up at a diagonal towards the sky. So I'm not coming straight up, I'm not coming straight out, I'm going at a diagonal. And I can either add tempo to this to work on more strength and work through a full range of motion, or I might go slower and rotate as much as I can and control that. Or I can add a little bit of power into this where I'm trying to rotate up as fast as I can. All right, we're gonna do this on both sides. So in this case, I would spin around, drop my left leg, keep my right leg up, and do the same thing. With the power band, it is exactly the same. I'm just fastening the band down low onto either a squat rack or really a piece of furniture that wouldn't move, and I'm going through the same rotational movements. And then finally, for the rotational chop, my setup is going to be exactly the same. So the leg that's closest to the cable is going to be down. The opposite leg will be up, so I'm in this half kneel position. Now I've fastened my cable or my band up into a higher position, and now instead of lifting in a diagonal, I'm going to be pulling down at a diagonal. Much like the exercise we did with our golf club or the PVC pipe, I want my hips to stay forward. So being in a half kneel will help you tremendously with this, where my hips are locked and I'm just rotating through my trunk and through my core versus rotating my entire body. Again, we can go nice and slow and work through a full range of motion, or we can add some speed and tempo to this and be a little bit more explosive with that pull down. I can tie my band up high, again on a squat rack, a piece of furniture, tie a knot and close it in a door. And now I'm doing the same thing starting with some tension in the band before I start my chop. I wouldn't want to start my chop down here where it's nice and loose. So in this case, I would just tie the band up higher. But that is the rotational chop, working more on that downswing, and that rotational lift is going to be more of driving through the ball. All right, so there you have it. Those are my 5 go-to exercises, primarily focused on rotation, that can help any golfer improve distance on their shots, reduce pain with playing, or hopefully prevent pain while they are playing. These are not the only 5 exercises that would help a golfer. As we mentioned earlier in the video, there's pretty much involvement of every joint in our body as we are generating power from the ground and driving it through our upper extremities. So it starts at our ankles and follows all the way through to our wrist. So if you're having pain in some other joint, it may be a good idea to focus on addressing those joints with maybe something like a shoulder specific exercise versus a rotational exercise. But anyone having some kind of mid back, low back, or hip pain with golfing, I think these rotational exercises have a really good chance at improving whatever it is you're dealing with. If you're not someone that's dealing with pain, these rotational exercises are certain to help you improve your distance with your shots just by being able to get into more mechanically friendly positions of rotation, so I can generate more force as I rotate through and hit that ball. So give these a shot if you're someone looking to improve your golf game or improve your pain with playing. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.